I am so just like in the nick of right on time. I am like so ready for it, but not ready for it, but ready for it, but ready for it. What am I going to talk about tonight? I'm going to finish up the questions that I asked of myself in December 2016 that I wrote down on a piece of paper to answer myself in December 2017. We did some of that last weekend on Sunday, so this Sunday we will be doing the same. Hello everybody, this is Denise Cooper. Welcome to Booktube Live on my Art Book Live channel, and I am welcoming you. I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, today was a kind of rough day. It was a busy day. I made it a busy day. I made it all the rough edges smooth. I made sure that I formed something out of this day that I could manage with so that I can get through and learn something from today and continue to just keep thriving and keep living. I learned that one of my favorite artists passed away last November, just last month, this year. Tamara Natalie Madden. If you have not seen her artwork, type it into the search engine here on YouTube or on Google and prepare yourself to be mesmerized and fall in love with her art. I am so happy when I think about her, but yet it was so sad. It was sad first because every time when she was alive, when I knew she was alive and I looked at her artwork, I just knew that it was some of the most beautiful pieces of art put together on a canvas from a beautiful human being. She was always smiling, and then when you watch her lectures or talks, she was pretty serious. And I watched a couple of them this morning, especially one with her talking to the young kids and, trying to get them in line and be quiet and just listen, And it's amazing to see her and to leave that legacy behind. But more than just leaving it behind for all of us to enjoy, the fact that she was here, the fact that she did what she loves to do, and she didn't have this, just watch some of her interviews. I don't want to spoil it for you. Just really delve in to find out who Tamara Natalie Madden is. And is because her art still lives and she was here. So hello Kia Denae, hello KT, hello pretty brown-eyed girl, no, pretty brown-eyed reader. Hi, musical Tati, hello. Alicia, Patricia again, Patrice, Karen, Stephen, Marley, Dee Dee, Alan Janae, Michael Reeves, Nicole, Dawn, Denise Rader, every single one of you, Great, and DSAA, Desau, and One American in Asia, and Paul Bright, and Columbus Moore, and everybody. Okay, I really appreciate all the lives that you participated in, and tonight is no different. So, I don't know what I'm looking like. What can you see? What can you see? Can you see my rose? We don't want to see all of that. Y'all see enough of that on the other channel. All right, we're going to talk about books, and we're going to do the questions, or we ain't going to do the questions. I'm going to ask myself the questions, and I'm going to answer it. And I got some things over here in my chair. I got an extra chair here because, I've been laying down. And I just fell off my laptop, just sliding my CDs in. I was just like hitting it, and it came off one day. So I was like, but it goes on real easy. It just pops right back in. But I took it off because it's easier for the little sensor to, feel my finger than this little button is anymore. I don't know, maybe I just broke it. I'm being so heavy-handed. Okay, Johnny. I'm gonna pause, Johnny. It is 6:04, so I guess I got one more minute to take up some time on this video. And for those of you who have been coming around and that are new, thank you so much. And also those of you who are watching the recorded. Hello, Bernice McFadden in Barbados. Come back. No, I'm just joking. Have a great time. She shared a picture of her passport on Instagram. I was like, come back. I was like, Bernice is trying to tell us something. She's going to go out the country. She's leaving America. She's not going to be a citizen. I don't know. I was like, where's she going? And then she starts sharing pictures of herself being in Barbados with her real lemon curves. I was like, go on, Bernice. I ain't mad. But anyway, hello, three people. And I have yellow stream health again. So it'll go back and forth and toggle. So if I'm actually um, lagging, that is why. I'm learning something, but I still don't know what else to do about it. I kind of thought it was the weather one day, but we haven't been getting bad weather here. It rained the other day, but it's just a little bit of rain, just a tiny bit. And so, hello, three people. Hello, three people. So, if you are in the live chat or if you're watching, speak with your phalanges, say hello, and I'll continue. Basically, I am going to go over the questions and tell you what page I'm on. Oh my God. Let me take my glasses off because I got so much. Let me put them on for just a second, just so I can see what you're seeing. It is so much color. Oh, and I put this painting back here today because I'll tell you, talk a little bit more about my day and my artist life. And yeah, my weave is caught in my Prince earring. There we go. Behave, Erica Badu here. So this painting back here is not finished. It is something I worked on today. I'll just talk about that now since um, we haven't said hi to anybody and you guys are not speaking right now. Hi, all three of you. Say hello to each other, if anything. So today, after hearing the news of Miss Madden's very early passing, I mean, she was only in her 40s, and if you look her up, you can Google her, and Tamara Natalie Madden. And she passed away, I believe, of ovarian cancer. And I found out about it by way of another YouTuber. I had never watched this lady's channel. It was just like something I clicked on because we had been talking about Roland Martin one time on the live, right? And so Roland Martin had went on Twitter, and that's how I found about it because I don't have regular TV, like I told you guys. I just have Hulu and Netflix and paint and read a lot. So I catch up with my TV when I can. So Roland Martin had talked about going or being canceled. Either the show is canceled on TV1 is the network he was a part of, or where his show was being aired. And so it was canceled and he had to tell the people whatever, and he was talking about that. And so I talked about it on live. And so when I was watching, or actually I was uploading my painting videos to the other channel, and on the side where it has other people's videos, of course. So I guess because we talked about Roland Martin, you know how the internet is, it just picks up every little subject matter that you talk about and gives you the most, you know, you know, some references to things. If you're talking about this, then I'm going to show you some videos about that subject. So that's, I'm sure, why it came up in my little scroll to the right. And it said the real reason why Roland Martin was fired. So I clicked on it, and because I was intrigued, and I've seen him down at the Houston National Black Book Festival in Houston, Texas in 2015, 2 years ago when I went. And so I had some thoughts, but I've been knowing about this man for years. And so it was very informative. And a lot of her points I was definitely not mad at. I mean, it makes you think. And I agreed with a lot of points that the young lady made. And I forget her name, but I will link it below again because I linked it on my other channel because I was talking about it. And this is actually how I found out about Tamara Madden's passing. So when I watched about half of that video about, her talking about Roland Martin, I actually clicked on her channel to see what other kind of, what kind of content she was putting out. And so I did, and I went through something and I saw her name. I'm like, whoa, Tamara Madden, like the lady that does all the beautiful women and the birds and the gold hair, and that she's like crowning every woman that she paints, and this stare, this deep penetrating stare from the painted subject to you. If you haven't seen her paintings, please look it up. Do yourself a favor and enjoy it. But anyway, so I clicked on her video, and that's how I found out about her passing. And she was very sad about it, and just like this shocking news, And so again, it happened last month. So literally, being that I have watched this woman's work for a while just through the internet and just loved her work, and I just laid in the bed, boohoo, cried. It made my day start real funky, you know, like not funky, but sad. Like I was like, oh man. It's like there's so much going on in the world, and then you lose somebody that's all vibrant and full of life through her painting. And when you see her, she's got this beautiful smile, these long, glorious dreadlocks or locks, and she's Jamaican. She's an artist. She's a woman. She's powerful. I mean, she's just a positive role model, and I just love, and she's inspiring to anybody, not just artists, and for anybody that wants to actually live their life how they want to live their life. And that hurt like really bad today. And so I got up. I was like, okay, enough with the crying. Get up and paint. Because that's what she would have done, or, you know, that's what you like to do. So, you know, I'm definitely nowhere near ever going to be as fabulous as a fine artist like her. Everybody's art is different though. So, but hers is magnificent. Hers is magnificent. And when you see her art, you will think of Clint. And he's the artist. Well, just look up artists. And then especially the video I'll probably link is the video I linked on the other channel where she's actually given a talk, and she mentions, you know, the inspiration from Clint and his paintings, and how his were a lot more sexual than her paintings are, because hers are usually one subject. They're not two subjects intertwined like Clint's were. But the gold that he used is what inspired her to use the gold. And she mentions that, and it was awesome to watch and, you know, revisit, you know, an artist that you've looked up before and followed their work. And so that's that. And so that made me, actually, I got a message from Joe Defoe, who's a really amazing artist here in Fort Worth, Texas. And she's constantly going back between her home in Fort Worth here and Chicago. She has kids in Chicago. She has kids here in Fort Worth, but she's an amazing artist, muralist, educator. She's an art teacher, and I've taught along with her when she joins, asked me to join her class on the weekends, and it gives kids something to do. And she's painting through the week in class, and then she does this weekend um, art class, and it's just amazing. So they all bought food or whatever, and they were exchanging gifts, and they did collaborative painting. And their artist that they were studying last week, I think she talked about it, was Kandinsky. So today they were doing these Kandinsky-esque type paintings. And so she gave me a big canvas, and she's very giving. So she gives me this big canvas, and yes, we're going to talk about books. I know this is Booktube Live, but it says Art Books Live. So please do not get offended if I'm not holding up a book like every 5 seconds. They're right behind me. So anyway, she reached out. She had sent me a picture, and it was very inspiring. It was about women and you know, inspiring other women. And I sent her, you know, a thing. I would like to do a collaboration with you. And she was like, that'd be awesome or whatever. And she's like, today at, you know, from 2 to 5, you know, where the class is. And so, you know, she didn't have to give me the address. I mean, I used to live down the street from her and the class. So I went over there from 2 to 5. I think I left a little bit early, 4:30, so I can come back home and do this and get ready. And as I went over there in my painting dress. I mean, I got out of bed like 5 or 6 or whatever, went over there and did my little, you know, getting the other canvas ready for my one painting a week next year during the 2018 blackout year in books, where I read nothing but African American writers all year long. 52 books, 52 paintings, a book and a painting a week. The books will be discussed and reviewed on this channel. The paintings will be painted over on my other channel, and I'll leave that link below as well. So to get in the spirit of just celebrating this thing that I love to do and paint and be, you know, call myself an artist, and you know, lose somebody that you admire and love their work. So I wanted to connect with another artist, and Joe Defoe was like right there. And so I go over and I paint with her and the kids, and it was awesome. So I took a lot of pictures, I got a lot of video, and I didn't even have time to upload it because I painted here, went straight over there in my painting dress and my tennis shoes. Looking a hot mess, had my hair wrapped up, and nothing. I just needed to connect with other like-minded individuals, and it's a class of first-time painters or kids in high school that have painted on canvas before, and their drawings, you know, the Kandinsky-esque type of artwork that they were doing was phenomenal. I just loved it, and the energy and vibe is what I needed, because in a classroom full of artists, there's three adults, Joe Defoe, myself, and I forget her name. I wanted to say Lydia, but the other teacher. There was three of us, and then the rest are all kids, teenagers, and so the music is playing. Joe Defoe has some jazzy type of Christmassy vibe going on, Christmassy type of vibe going on, and you can hear the kids chattering and talking. Some kids are completely quiet and working on their artwork. You know, Jo Defoe and her friend are working on art. People are getting food, and it's just that's it. You don't have to talk. You can be as quiet as you want. You know, she does her introduction to for me the art, you know, community artist Denise Cooper is here, blah blah blah, to help us, and so forth and so on. I always appreciate that she appreciates other artists and the kids, and so she introduces me to them and them back to me, and it's just a wonderful thing to be a part of. So, and saying all that, that's where I wanted to spend my time today, and um, I feel so much better. I feel so much better. So I started painting on this big canvas she gave me, and I just had it propped up, and you know, everybody's just painting. And then there was these three young boys that were at a table, and they were just painting on pieces of paper. They were just doing one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, and they had never painted before on canvas. They hadn't even painted. They weren't painting students like a lot of the other kids were, and not all the kids were painting students. So it was just a place where they can go and, you know, do creative art. And so I was looking at the things that they were doing. So one of them was painting hearts with a flower coming out, and it was just gorgeous. And then another one was doing all pencil, mainly like graffiti style writing with letters. And the other one was doing like abstract, just one after the other. Hardly no subject matter, just paint and dripping and whatever. So I had them all come and do the things that they were doing on their own on top of my painting. And one kid was like, "Miss, no, I don't want to mess your painting up." He's like, "No, Miss, I'll," you know, the other one's like, "No, Miss, I don't want to mess it up." So I was like, "It's a mess now. Just, you know, come and add to the mess and we'll just make it look beautiful." And it's not a mess. Art is a mess. So we all three worked on it, so I got some video of that, and it was what I needed. Like I said, it was so what I needed. Yeah. So I'm gonna put on my glasses and see if you guys are at least saying hi to each other. And whoa, hi 7 people. And let me say hi. It's 18 minutes. Let me know if you can hear me, because I sound like I'm like ahead in here, because you know how like if you've had a day of crying, you get all nasal, and I can hardly hear myself. But I don't want to shout either, because I notice it makes a crazy noise on this camera. So, you know what? I think it's going a little bit faster tonight. You know what? I'm going to try to turn this off, and I'm going to see what you guys are seeing. You let me know. I like this better, because that light is just out of control. So just let me know if you can still see, because it is kind of dark, but it's not like really bad dark. And then I will say hello to everybody. Hello, pretty brown-eyed reader. Hi, she says. Great, true. When I searched up her name, Clint did come to up in my head. Exactly, that gold, that use of gold. And there she's got this one specifically where the person is full body, because most of them are just like from here and up, and the hair and the bird. And so the ones that she has, this like kind of like that Clint coat type of thing, where it looks like it's just this one square type of dress, but it's all this design in it. That is so Clint. And then the halo kind of around the hair in gold. Fabulous. So it's just totally sumptuous, delicious, divine. I love her paintings, and I love Clint. I really do. And so I'm going to read the rest of your comment, but it says, true, when I search up her name, Clint did come up in my head. I think it was because of texture. Not sure if that's the word for it. And the color. Yes, it's the word for it. I think so too, because that color, that gold, when they put that on there, it sets the other colors kind of back, and that gold kind of comes forward, so it creates a texture. I mean, so you're exactly right. And hi, Sabrina. Do you know my? I was gonna say my favorite sister. So you usually get me beat up, Sabrina. My sister right above me, she's 3 years older than me. Her name is Sabrina. And so she's the closest sister in age. And so we are a lot closer than the other siblings. However, I'm really close to my oldest sister, Sherry, too. And then Tanya, who's like right in the middle of everybody. She's the second to the oldest girl. And so, yeah. Anyway, so now, oh, I can't read this name. Hold on, I'm gonna bend over. I gotta bend over. Got to bend over. We lost somebody. So I don't know where people be coming and going so fast. But let me bend over. It says, I didn't say hi. Thank you for mentioning Tamara Madden. You're very welcome. I mean, I love her. I've been following her for years, and it just that put me back today, and I had to find some getting forward to, I don't want to just mourn someone that I admired so much with mourning all day. I wanted to, like, look at her smile. You can't mourn all day, and then look at all that artwork that she not left behind. That sounds so bad, that she's given us. Okay? So, yeah. And I'll read the rest of the comment. It says, I looked at her paintings just now. They look amazing, don't they? And Carrie, uh, oh, I'm sorry, came across your channel the other day after searching for Richard Wright's Outsider. Thanks. Love, love Richard Wright. As you guys know on this channel, he's one of my favorite male writers of all time. He's just bad, man. I love Richard Wright. So thank you so much for finding the channel. I hope you will keep coming back and joining in the conversation. And if you have a subject that you want to speak about, a book that you want to talk about, please let me know, and we'll talk about it. And because I like to read the comments out loud so that I can have join in your conversation. And Pretty Brown Eyed Reader, Alicia says, see you just fine. Okay, thank you, Alicia. I appreciate it. Because that other line, yeah, it's too much. So much. Anyway, so actually, I'm gonna catch you up with my current read. I talked about this book because it is, I mean, look at the book. It's heavy. That's how big the book is. And I got my questions here, and I'm actually using that as my bookmark so that I can remember to talk about where I'm at. And we've already talked about this yesterday. The wonderful Essence magazine with Maxine Waters on the cover. And we already looked at the book suggestions. And so what was I getting ready to do? I don't know what I was looking for. I don't know. Oh, the audio. I don't know where it is. But anyway, you guys know I'm listening to the audio. And I'm actually on 17, I believe, and it's chapter 28. So this is exactly where I'm at. I'm on chapter 28 of The Hour I First Believed. So I only have this much left, you guys. And this is the one, if you are new here tonight, I own this book, but I have the library audio checkout because I listen while I paint. And that helps me to keep in the story, makes me reread. This one is good to read and also listen to. So, like in the middle of the night, like I said the other night, it forces me to just, like, when they say chapter 18, I'm like, really? Let me get to chapter 18, and then I'll read, like, pause the audio, and then I'll read that chapter and then listen to it. It's like cookie crazy, but he is covering so much in this book. So I understand why some people think maybe he could have left some subjects out, but it's all intertwined. It is. And then if you read his other books, you kind of know that there's some characters from the other stories in here. And I love when writers do that. It's a book within a book, because when they find these letters, or when they're talking to this specific man who's going back in time telling about this woman and these kind of like beauty pageants, which is in the other book that I listened to this year. So 3 Wally Lamb book, and they're kind of all linking up some sort of way. Actually, they are linking up some sort of way. And I've talked about that last night, but I am on chapter 28. And so this is page 557. So I'm on 556 of chapter 28. And the book is how many pages? Oh my God. That's charitable donation. What is that about? Oh, he gives the information probably about the prisons. So I'm all up in the list of consult. Oh wow, acknowledgments, 734 pages. Let me go back. So acknowledgement starts there. Notes from the author. Oh my gosh, a lot of stuff to read. An afterword, which I love afterwards. Let me stop at the afterword. The afterwards stops at 728 pages. So this is it, you guys. This is all I got to go. And I do read prefaces, prefaces, introductions, afterwards, notes, and everything. Like I read until the book is completely done. And when even sometimes I'll read the book club questions just to refresh my mind on the story and just to kind of stick with the story. But then there are some books that are so awfully bad and they have the nerve to have those questions in the back, and I'm like, I'm not revisiting that. I don't have time for it. I'm good. I'm done. But really good books, I will read everything until the page is vanilla and nothing is on it. Like, okay, I guess we're done here. So I'm enjoying this book, as you can probably well see. Oh, I dropped my glasses. And I'm going to put something in here and keep my place. I make bookmarks and I ain't got one because they're all over there. They're all over there. Anyway, so I'm going to go through these questions, but first of all, let me ask all of you who are in the chat room, what are you currently reading right now? Please list the name of the book, and even if you're not even finished with it, like this is how I do sometimes. I'll think in my head, this might be a 3-star book because it's a 3-star book now. Imagine when I get done, it might be a 4 or 5-star, or this is a 1-star book. It's going to need to earn some points. So let me know right now if the book is good enough for you to recommend or even give a star rating right now while you're in the midst of it, because I really want to know. And also, if you are reading or participating in Reading Blackout next year, 2018, where I'll be reading nothing but African American authors and in support of African American bookstores, African American indie writers, independent writers, African American writers who are winning awards, whatever, all African American writers for 1 year and doing a painting a week. So yes, and we've got our shelves ready. A lot of people are joining in. And yes, Alicia, yes, KT, yes, Dee Dee, yes, yep, I read it. And there are a lot of people that I have submitted the names to a specific person who's going to help us promote next year the Blackout and Reading So Lit. And so we're just going to have a good time, and hopefully more bloggers that are out there blogging about books will also join in on the fun and let us know about it. And so book lovers everywhere, unite. Let's do this. So let me know what you're reading and also what you think about it so far. That's what I want to know. And I'm going to go and look. I'm going to give it a few moments because you know we got lag, and it's 28 minutes. And while I'm waiting for you guys to mention a book, and let me go down. So Sabrina, what are you reading, Sabrina? And what are you reading? And I wish I could say your name. And it's I got the worst eyesight. Odimseya, and also Abba. You know the names. Y'all know I'm bad. But your first initial is S, and your letter is green. You said hello first. Please let me know what you're reading if you're still here. And there are 8 people, so hi. So Sabrina, let me go down to her. Sabrina said, okay, I left off where a pretty brown eye reader said she sees me just fine. So I'm not going to turn that other light on. Thank you, Alicia. And then Alicia says, what it means when a man falls from the sky. I've been wanting to read that. Actually been wanting to buy it. And I do want that in my collection. Let me know if it's worth it. So let me read the rest of it. So that's what she's reading, When a Man Falls from the Sky, and it's by Leslie Ninka. Okay, I'm sorry. It starts with an A. Arima. It's this very good short story collection. I am flying through them. Ah, the last short story collection that I read and truly loved was from J. California Cooper. And you know, I'm starting the year off with her. And I got another short story collection from her already on my shelf, so I don't have to buy anything new. I've already purchased it. And so I'll be reading that. And I know I'm going to enjoy it. I love everything that I have read by Miss J. California Cooper, my namesake, and just enjoying it. So I'm glad you're enjoying that. When you fly through short stories, oh, and I also want to know, Alicia, are they like, are the short stories connected in any way? Because, oh, and The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri, like one of my all-time favorite collections of short stories ever. I liked The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda Adichie, Ngozi Adichie, but it was good. And it's still memorable, especially the first story. For some reason, that first story pops out at me. Even when I finished the book, I kind of wanted the first story that she put in there to be a whole novel. So that one is memorable and very enjoyable. I would recommend it. But that Jhumpa Lahiri's The Namesake, that was one of my favorite. The feel of it. I mean, I took that book to the park. I was not, I mean, I was, you know how you put a book in your purse or your bag or whatever and take it with you so you can read it when you're sitting down somewhere. I had that book out. Like, you know how you're looking at your cell phone when you're walking down the street? No, I had the book walking down the street reading that book. That's how good those short stories were to me. And so I think I really want that one, Alicia. And then Sabrina says, I just finished reading both Binti and Binti Home. I only read Binti and it was really good. And I wished it was longer for some reason. And I've heard people say this before, but I checked it out at the library. I don't own them, but I actually want all three of them because I follow the author on Twitter, like loads of people do. And she always has great pictures and she always has these discussions like, yeah, you might not want to mess with her. That's all I'm saying. She's not one to play with. But when she put up the trilogy of the books, I was like, oh, I want the whole selection. Because when I got the one from the library, the Binti, and I checked out a few more of hers, but I didn't get a chance to read them all because I was reading other library checkouts, and you know you have to take them back. So I was like, I want to own hers anyway. And when I went to Barnes and Nobles to get them, they had a Binti, and the copy was a little dog-eared. I think somebody's been reading it and putting it back in Barnes Noble. I know I've done that. I know I have. I know that I have. So I really can't, you know, say anything about that. However, it was the only Binti copy in Barnes and Nobles, and they didn't have the second one, and the third one wasn't out at the time that I was looking, and so I didn't get any. So I checked it out at the library, and read it and enjoyed it, and it's so picturesque. Like I could literally see her and her hair and the clay and then when it turned blue, I think, and Lord, I want oops, I'm sorry if I spoiled that for anybody, but no, it's really not a spoiler. I mean, it's just beautiful, and I like it, and I'm interested in Binti and her journey, and from getting away from that planet and just venturing out, and kind of like, you know, when you're young and you want to go to college or you want to go somewhere else, but I really like it the way it's told. And so Sabrina says, and I'm finishing up with her comment. Ah, ah, ah. Okay, so she says Binti and Binti Home, and I just don't know what to read next. Um, I give both of the novellas 5 stars. Exactly, it's a novella because I thought looking at that cover, the cover is so outstanding. I was like, "Ooh, big book, I want," and it's beautiful. But yeah, very short novella. Binti and Binti Home. Where was I? 5 stars. I love that. And then I felt a special connection with the main character, Binti. Exactly, right? Like I'm so interested in her. Like I want more of her, and I could see her in the movies, and I want them to get the casting right because whoever did the artwork for Binti, the first one, it's just so beautiful. It's like that looks like a real person. Like they just went and took somebody's picture on the computer and doctored it up, made it look like artwork because it doesn't look like a realistic picture. It looks like a beautiful piece of artwork that's very realistic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, find that young lady and put her in that movie. That's all I'm saying. And then Grape says, I know why the cage bird sings hooked. Exactly. We talked about that yesterday too. Oh, that's a good one. And then to follow up with just finding out more about her, it's almost like reading I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings and her going mute. You appreciate her voice even more, even though you appreciate, I mean, how can you not appreciate Dr. Maya Angelou's voice? And when she does her own poetry, or when she's just talking, with that slow, cool drag that she has. So I know that's good, and that's one to get hooked on. And Sabrina says, Interpreter of Maladies by Jupiter Lahiri is my favorite. Is that it? What did I, is that, did I say it in namesake? Because it's the one with the short stories. I have Lowland, which Joseph Quinton from Booktube, which like is one of the first people I met and talked with a lot on Booktube. And I'm not sure if he's still doing Booktube videos, but he told me read the Lowlands because I think I was asking which one should I read next. And so I have the Lowlands, I have the something Earth, the Succumbed Earth, I don't know, the Namesake, and Interpreter of Maladies. The Interpreter of Maladies is the one with the short stories, right? I believe so. I don't even know what I just said, but it's the one with the short stories. That's the only one I've read. And then the new one, I have to get that one because I have the four that I just mentioned. Interpreter Mallory is the namesake, and the green, A Custom Earth or something like that. I just know it's a green hardback book that I have, and it's over there. And the Lowlands. I don't know. It used to be behind me. But anyway, I like her. I liked like the couple. For some reason, that couple, that was kind of, it was kind of a slow, draining drag of a life. And then you just wanted them to be in love, and I don't know, it was just, I don't know, it was beautiful. I loved it. And then Grape, let me, oh, hi, Kia Denae. Hi, Kia Denae. And so let me go down. Kia Denae says, hello, I'm reading A Piece of Cake. I also just started Stamped from the Beginning. I read A Piece of Cake, and it is no piece of cake. That woman went through it. I don't know where you are, so I don't want to spoil it. But my gosh, I remember reading that book in public, and somebody behind me, actually, thank goodness it was a coworker. And I think I was out to lunch or something. Anyway, he peered over my shoulder. He goes, what the heck are you reading? He said, I was like, dude, this woman, I mean, it was a lot of, vulgar vulgar words. Okay, I can't talk. But anyway, it was a heck of cussing in there. And so he's like reading. I was like, don't read over my shoulder. That's a mess. Don't do that. But every time after that, I wouldn't read the book in public. I would just read it when I got home from work. I was like, I'm not taking that book with me no more and opening that book because I was just like so in. I was like, this just can't happen to one person. All of this just can't. This is not, she need she needs some help. Somebody help her like real fast. Like, hold on, y'all. Because yeah. hmm Yeah, I can drink white wine. I can't drink red anymore. I can't tell you why. And y'all know I'm ignorant and I like to slurp. But anyway, Piece of Cake was good. Especially after I read the book, then I watched her, like, because when I read the book, I mean, she had already been on the circuit. So I forget what talk show she was on. It wasn't Oprah. It was something else. Anyway, it might have been a news, whatever. She was sitting on the couch, okay? And she was talking and doing an interview. And even the interviewer rather, said it was almost like this is just almost unbelievable. Like, how can one person go through all this tragedy to their and do these things to themselves? And you reading the book, you know what I'm talking about. But that book was something else. And then let me see what else. Let me make sure I'm keeping up. Okay, Piece of Cake. That's where I left off with Kia Denae. The Kia Denae, Stamped from the Beginning. Who's that by, and is it good? And Grape says, I'm reading The Namesake for my world lit class. Oh man, you got a good class. How did it go? Didn't you have a chemistry test? or paper or something that you were getting ready for? Because I know Dawn was doing a child development class, and I think you were getting ready for something else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember someone in the chat room, and I believe it was you, and or One American in Asia. I don't know. One of you were doing that, so let me know, Grape. And it's kind of slow for um, TBH. It's kind of slow from, I don't know what TBH is. I don't know. I know. Did you mean TBR, or I don't know. So I'm trying to guess, but I can't. Pretty Brown Eyed Reader. I haven't seen a connection between have the short stories yet. Oh, okay. So that's what answering to my question was her short story collection that she's reading right now have a connection, because some of them will. They'll either weave a character, through another story, through another story. And some of them are just so independent and they're so good, and some of them should just be really big, long 400-page books. So, or more. And then she says, I have the namesake book. Picked it up at the thrift store. My goodness. I think all of my Jubilahiri books were thrift store purchased, or thriftbooks.com, which I'm not shopping next year during the blackout because of the fact that I want to support Black-owned bookstores that are already into existence. And that's where I'm going with it next year. Um, Interpreter of Maladies is a short story. Thank you so much, Sabrina. And the other book is The Unaccustomed Earth, and it's green and white. I can see it in my mind, but I have those books, and I moved those shelves over, so it could even be behind me. I have no idea, but I have 4, and I can't wait to read the other ones. I passed barely, barely. Did we mess you up, keeping you in the chat room? I hope not. And it is by Ibram Kendi. Okay. Let me write that down. Seriously, I'm gonna write that down. I've heard of that name. And have I heard of that book? I wrote your book down last night too, and I'm looking up these books like I told you guys. All right, so I got that. And Grape says the namesake is kind of slow for me, to be honest. Okay, connection for previous comment. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, KT. She says hi, everyone. Pretty Brown Eye Reader says hi, K. And Sabrina says hi, K. Hello, everybody. So, just to wrap up a little bit of what we've been talking about, if you're just coming in, or if you happen on the channel, just went over a little bit about how my day went, and I got some artist relief today. Heard about Tamara Natalie Madden, one of my favorite artists. Beautiful work that she has left behind or given to us. She passed away last month of ovarian cancer, and I found out about it by way of, and I still didn't change the title. So I'm going to do that right now. And because it's still going to be talking about current reads, which I did, and Dee Dee is in the house. So let me change that. And let me change the memoirs. So being a little sad about that today and learning of her passing, and wanting to create and just have a good time while I'm here. And if I had passed away, like right now, would I be happy with what I've, given my children, with what I wanted to do with my life, and how free it feels to just paint whatever you want to paint, whether somebody buys it or not. And when I asked myself that, I said yes, and I got up and I painted, because I mean, look how happy she was, and look, she did what she wanted to do. And life is a gift. Life is what you make it. Life is a beautiful thing. And I didn't want to discredit that by just sitting around moping all day, but it did take me a minute to collect myself. And then, so after getting my canvas painted all white and getting it ready, and I'll be painting tonight, and then to go to see my artist friend Joe Defoe, who's our famous Joe Defoe here in Fort Worth, Texas, and going to her class and painting, with the kids, and we all painted this together. I did the background, I did the face, and I did this funky crazy hair, and then the guys helped me, and they did some lettering and a heart and some dots on the hair to fill it in. So now she let me take it home because, you know, she has all these canvases and everything. She even gave me a little one to do some artwork on, and just welcomed me because she knew, you know, when I told her what was going on and who passed away, she was like, come paint with me. And I was like, I want to do a collaboration. She was like, come on, and told me what time to come in. And so that's where we were, KT. And so, and everybody says hi. So we are all caught up. And now I feel like it's dark, but I'm glad it's not because I'm not turning on that light. I think we left off on question number 4. And these are my questions again from December 2016. I wanted to ask myself in 2017 December. And so I'm on target. And I want to finish these up. And hopefully I can do it tonight and not be so long-winded on the questions. But I didn't want to think about them before, like I said before, it's 45 minutes. So I got 15 minutes to ask the questions. Yeah, this is going to go into next week also. So how do you think your art affects people at all? I think that's where I'm at because I answered number 1, 2, and 3. I remember those. So number 4 question, how do you think your art affects people, if it does at all? For the people that I have sold art to, especially the few collectors that I did have that have more than 10 of my paintings. One lady has over 15 because I counted. Because, you know, when you think, wait a minute, where's that painting? Oh, so-and-so bought that. Oh, and then she came back and she was buying a painting, like almost every year she would buy a painting for me. She would come over one time and she just wanted to see what I was doing. And I happened to be painting on something. She goes, when you finish, I want that one. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay. But so it affects people in the way that they see something that's going to give them some peace and joy, and they purchase it, and that makes me happy because it took a while to get to a point to actually sell my art, meaning let it go. Like people were wanting to buy it, and I was like, that's not for sale. Well, how much is it? It's $50,000. Just hiking stuff up just to, you know, so I could keep it and take it back home because, you know, they've just walked on. I was bad, I know. But, you know, when you're a new artist, and that was like 12 years ago, maybe. So, yeah, because I've been doing, no, God. Oh my God, I've been here for, oh my God, I'm so old. 9 years I've been here. And I started my art shows in Florida. Oh my God. A long time ago. A long, 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 long time ago. What movie is that from? What book is that from? Anyway, me and my daughter love that. Anyway, so that was number 4. That's the end of that question and answer. Number 5 says, does your art offend? Some of it does. Somebody, a guy, not even a girl, not a woman, but a man, asked me one time, it goes, and you know, they're not all like that. Like the museum, I'm going to, you know, submit these 3 pieces behind me, and they have no nudity, and they're just big faces, and they take up the whole canvas pretty much. And that was on purpose, and it's, you know, I'll talk about the series maybe one day, but to answer this question, does my art offend? And it wasn't offending him. He was just, you know, being nosy, wanting to know what was going on with me and why I was doing what I was doing. And because a lot of, I had a series called The Naked Truth. And there was this story in this book that I have, Jubilee. Now, not the Jubilee that's an actual novel type of written book. My sister gave me this coffee table book, and it's called Jubilee. Thumbing through and going through the pages and reading and looking at all those pictures, and there was this scene where there was this big oak tree or whatever, and there was these slaves, and you know, people trying to capture them. And I took just that little idea, and I closed the book, and I painted this man standing up against the tree, like resting with this big old rifle, and his woman standing right in front of him, like looking, and you know, they're just kind of taking a rest from running, but they were butt behind naked. And I was like, they got on brown. They got on something. So when I was painting it, I didn't, I mean, even in the picture, these people are completely clothed. And so I don't know why I didn't want to put on their clothes. And that's the first one that, no, that was the second one. Yeah, that was the second one that I did in the series. And I did one about my year of birth, which is 1965. So I had Brown versus the Board of Education. I had all these things that I know of, being from Kansas. And actually, I went to school with the young girl that's in the picture. She's actually cousins to my older three siblings, because my mother was married twice. And so Brown versus Board of Education, the young ladies, Brown Smith. My siblings are the Smiths. I went to school with her kids, and we always called each other cousin, right? So it was in the painting, and the girl in the painting naked, right? And then the third one I did is when Trayvon Martin got killed, and it was of these three naked ladies, and they were like charging, like it was just to say, like, the mothers are tired of this kind of a thing. And so these women, they were, and they had afros, like most of my paintings do, afro or locks, and they were all different colors. One was like a pink, a purple, and a blue. And it was because my daughter, with her afro, she just dyes her hair. Like, she'll have it turquoise one day, or month or whatever, so long, and pink hair, and then red hair, and then blue hair, and then brown hair, or whatever Tasha wants to do to her hair. I love it. And I was always painting my mother's afro. So I'm sure that's why it came out, because I don't like to think a lot when I'm painting. So again, naked. So my friend from high school, who's about, painting for me, he's like, "Why are you always painting boobs?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know." Ask all the millions and illions of artists that are well known and come way before me, whether they're known or not. Why do we do that? I don't know. It's a female form, and when you go to art class, that's the most painted form ever. Even men and women, doesn't matter. It's the most painted. And talking about painting women, when I was watching Tamara today on one of her speeches or talks, she had mentioned that also. And I'm gonna stop smacking my lips, because when I watch this back, I was smacking. I don't appreciate that, Denise Cooper. So anyway, she was mentioning how, yes, I paint men sometimes, and like even on the slides, I think one man came up, but there were all these powerful, beautiful, strong women. And so, yeah, go figure. And so, does my art offend? The nudity can offend people sometimes, but aren't we all naked? So anyway, is your art good? I asked this of myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is. Okay, next question. So I say that because if you actually Google the word pretentious, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, so pretentious. Art is such a pretentious. Nobody needs art." And it is. Um, every art form is pretentious. You have the audacity to go in a recording studio and put your voice on a track thinking that somebody's going to like it, even though it's good, even though it's great. And you can sell all kind of records like Kanye and Beyonce and everybody else. And but there's some pretentiousness about that. You have the ability to paint something that maybe does look like somebody else's or doesn't, but it's your thing that you like, and you take it to an art show and you set up. That's pretentious. You think that somebody's going to like that. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But do I think my art's good? Hell, yes. Thank you. Come again. Anyway, number 7. What does your art do for the good of mankind, if anything? Okay, I see you, Denise. You trying to get there. You ain't gonna make me mad. No, you're not. So anyway, art does nothing for mankind other than uplift, inspire, and make you want to live. Next question. Um, yeah, you can't take it with you when you die. You can't do a lot of things, but you can do a lot of things with it. Nobody needs art in their homes, but for all of us here has some sort of piece of art in our homes, even if it's a couch made the way that it's made. It was designed by an artist or an architect team or whomever. Somebody designed it. It's a piece of art, and you wanted that thing. It spoke to your aesthetic. You're an artist. We are all created to create. I'm a believer of that. So what does my art do for mankind, if anything? everything. Everything. Okay. Number 8, what do you make art for? What's the purpose of me making art? It's the most enjoyable, peaceful, calm, hard-working experience I've ever had. I could go to a job and stand up on my feet for 8, 10 hours and come home and and I don't stand up at the job that I have now, I sit down on my butt all day. I can stand up and create art for a long amount of time and go get the art stuff. Go, I run all my errands for the art. I set up for the art. I'm like, this thing is all encompassing. It's amazing. So what do you make art for? That reason is to do the work. And then at the end of this blank nothingness, you made something that contributes to yourself and the way you can enjoy your life, and also someone else to create and open their mind to think about, what the heck was she doing painting this? It still made you think about something or enjoy or smile or whatever. So that's the reason why I make it, is because I have to do the work. I have to. I think I'd die if I didn't. Seriously, I think I would die. And number 9 is, why is it important for you to continue to make art, to continue to live, to continue to contribute to my form of happiness and the way that Denise thinks that she can be happy, and to communicate with other people. Like I said the other day, I think it was one of the other questions, I really like when somebody tells me what my art represents to them. So that feedback that me and you need right now. You came in here for a reason. You came to sit. You know I can't hear you, but you're talking and you're chatting. It's the connection. And so that's the answer to that. It's because we need to connect. And number 10, did I skip anything? Okay, nope. Number 10, so I'm gonna wrap this up tonight. Do you feel free to express yourself? That is a question, especially doing art and especially writing. Writing was more, I got to a point where I didn't want to write because it was so intimate and so real. Even when I was making up stories and writing short stories that were fiction, I still felt like, I don't want anybody to read that. But art, it could be a hot mess and I want to share it. And I don't care if anybody sees it. So I am free in the sense of creating art more than I was the art form of writing. But my writing, it does a whole different thing to me that art cannot do. And I even asked myself one time, if I could have the time and not work and be taken care of, so I can write the novel that I want to write or paint a series of paintings that I want to write, which one would I do? It took me months sometimes to answer that question, but I've come to the firm decision that I would paint, because with a paint brush, you can still write. And there's so many words that are underneath the curve of a woman, the colors of a sky, and all of that, that say something to me when I speak the words inside, when I'm telling the story. Or I can just write it on the darn painting, which I've done. I've written a whole poem of mine on a painting and then covered it up and painted that poem. And that's actually how it started. Yeah, doing art. So that's that. We're done with the 10 questions, and we're probably done with this day because it is 58 minutes. I got 2 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry getting happy. Am I getting happy about stopping lately? Because I want to pay. Anyway, and I do want to chat about, okay, I caught you up. I told you what page I'm on Wally Lamb. And I'm loving that. I'm going to check in with you guys and see what you're saying. And, oh, I did want to talk about her. This beautiful lady that sent me a book. Was it not last year? Maybe it was last year. No, 2015, I think. And because it was before I moved up. No, it was last year, you guys. And I really enjoyed this book, and I'll talk about it more next year because I want to recommend it. And this is Banke Awepeto McCullough. And she is the one that sent me the book, and it's from Concrete Rose Publications. And her novel, I mean, this whole publication thing, that her marketing skills are great. And it says Always Want More. That's the book. I read it, and I'm going to take this, make sure that you guys can really see what I'm getting ready to hold up. If you follow this channel, you've already seen this. This is something that I was really passionate about, was my independent artist series, who are the reason why I'm doing the Blackout, is to support independent writers and African American writers all here in the United States of America. And this is her book, and I read it and I loved it. That's the cover right there with the lady in the classroom. She's a school teacher, and this boyfriend that she has is into some things that, and this is the beautiful author. And you keep wanting, well, at least I did when I was reading the book. And maybe I was judging. I don't know. I was like, what is she doing with him? She's too good for him. And he's just a thug and blah, blah, blah. And whatever. Oh my God, she's going to get herself in this compromising situation. She's not going to be able to handle it. And something's going to happen to my girl. Oh my gosh, because you're so on her side, right? And I'm telling you, yeah. Y'all read the book and see if she handled it or not. Y'all read the book, because I was really inspired by that book. I really was. I enjoyed it. So, and I'll talk about the book, and I have the book, and I'll, it's not on my black bookshelf because I've read it, but I will be talking about her and leaving all her information next year for the Blackout. But since I've talked about it now, go ahead and look her up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me see what y'all saying. We are over 1 minute and 8 seconds. And then she says, hi, Kay. Hi, everyone. All right. So Kay says, do any of your grandchildren show any artistic ability to or interest in art? Yes. That is one thing that I used to love, is the fact that they would always come over and want to paint. Because, you know, we would get on the floor, I would put down plastic or whatever, or that drop cloth. And I have pictures of my grandkids just letting them, just painting their little hearts out. And I've kept some of them. And, you know, my granddaughter Jada would always, I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad, with the hearts and the house and the people, you know, that kindergarten, you know, that we've all done. She was just like so right there with it. And she was always happy to paint her love for her mom and dad and this picturesque family scene, right? And then Deja would just go abstract, and she would be like, oh, serious. She would just, and I'm like, oh, she is good. And I look at her color palette that my granddaughter was using, okay? And I painted a painting out of the color palette that my granddaughter used and made $300. Okay. Did I break her off? I don't think I did. But it was my painting. It was a little inspiration. But no, seriously, Deja has, I think she's going to have a really good artistic flair. I just think she's natural. She's like my son, her dad, is where I just think she, I don't, I'm almost, I don't know what she would do. I don't know if she wants to paint, or I don't know if she's going to be a good writer like her dad. But either way, I think that, especially since I come from a household, my brother was in a band. He taught himself how to play guitar, and the man is amazing. He's still playing to this day. And he plays for his church, and he's got a band, like a jazz kind of a thing. And so he's amazing. When I have an art studio, he played every weekend, almost every weekend. He would bring all his stuff, and he's so professional. My brother is so clean, and he's so professional. And he just bumping out the Jimi Hendrix jazz, you know, all this incorporated into one. It all sounds like Earth, Wind, and Fire. The I was gonna say, but better, but I think it was because it's my brother, but also because I just loved hearing his live. And he would be just warming up before the crowd would come in or people come in and shop. We would have art parties. And so I was like, oh my God, Michael, you know, what is that? That's not on my CD, that because he, you know, makes CDs and he sells them. And I would like, you know, I don't have that on my CD. And he goes, oh no, I'm just playing around. I was like, really? So anyway, so I grew up with him having a band and being the little sister who got to go in and watch the warm-ups or rehearsals, and all the other kids had to stay outside. Anyway, and then my mother always wrote, my sister writes. We just, and then my sister Tanya, she was a model, and she's like a fashion, like she's always well put together, and I think fashion was her thing. She hasn't made a career out of fashion or anything like that, but and then they sewed all the time. Her and my mother can just look at something and want to sew that thing, or not use patterns and just measure tape themselves and then make jumpsuits and dresses and suits and everything else. I'm like, I didn't have that. I just used to write and read all the time. And then when my mother started painting late in her life, and I picked it up later in life, I think it was a continuation of some of the paintings I did when I was young. And I just never, it never left out of me. So anyway, my grandkids, Kay, yes, I think so. And Kaylin loves to paint with me, and I had him paint some bookmarks. This was months ago, because I've lost so many stuff. I don't know. But anyway, I think all of us are, and it depends on what we are going to stick with. And I've had the same hobbies or artistic interests forever, since I was a little girl, and I just caught a picture of me. Okay, bye you guys. That's all. Anyway, I am done here. I'm going to go, and I need to get something to eat because I realized I think I had some cereal, some shredded wheat, I had some tea, and the 2 cookies. And that was it. I'm starving. Oh, I got Green Life Health, so we're good. And now we're gone. And so let me say goodbye, and that's that. Okay, we were talking about books that we're reading like right now. So if you want to answer this question before we go, and if you would recommend it, and what star would you be giving it at this point in time in the middle of the book? I know I just watched your videos today, and let me tell y'all in the chat room. How many of y'all? There's 9 people in the chat room. Okay, so KT is doing Vlogmas, right? And it's so good that I don't want Vlogmas to end for her. And I know it's a lot of work. I know it is. I know. But it's so good. It is so good. It's like I don't live around my sisters, and my sister that lives here is 5 hours away. I mean, I just can't go 5 hours every 5 minutes. And my sister Sabrina and Tanya live in Missouri. And watching certain people's Vlogmas, like September, when I was inspired by Michael Reeds to do Vlogtimber, and so I did Vlogtimber, and it was a lot of fun. It is a lot of work though, and just like this is, because I have to be here at a certain time. I have to cut off whatever I'm doing, or I have to get ready or whatever. So it's, yes, it's a lot of work. And even when I'm just flying off the whim, still I know that I have to say something all the time, or you're just gonna be sitting here, being bored. Why is she not saying nothing? That's stupid. So I know it's a lot of work. But Michael Reeds had an amazing Vlogtimber. And then October, I don't remember. I think I watched some other YouTubers that are not part of Booktubers, Vlogtobers, and they were pretty good. And then KT is doing Vlogmas. And it is so homespun perfection. Yes, it is. It's like your sister that you don't have, that you wish your sisters was like. No, I'm just joking. My sisters are the bomb.com. But I'm just saying, it is so good. And when you went to your sister's house and she just would not read, I died laughing. I think I watched that one twice. And then the one where you were sitting in your car and did not want to get out for work. Girl, I have that experience every day, probably for the last 9 years. So I understand. And you're buying the books for your your nephews, and then your son and daughter-in-law, who I learned that you're his god. I just, because I watched the channel because of you. I think this was last year maybe when you told me, and I'm subscribed to them on, I think, this channel. And so I was on my other channel uploading videos, watching your Vlogmas today, and I was like, when I went to their channel, because I was like, I'm going there now. I go to the channel, I wasn't subscribed, and I go, let me subscribe. No wonder I haven't seen them in a while. And then I thought, oh, I'm subscribed on this channel here. So now I'm subscribed from both channels, and so when I'm tottering back and forth, I'll make sure that I get their updates. And I love them. They're just cute. And her accent cracks me up, but I just love it. So thank you for that extended family. But your Vlogmas is warm and friendly, and it's so, when people are talking about Booktube and the rants and the this and the that and the stuff I just can't get with, like I said, it's my happy place. And your Vlogmas is an extension of my happy place. So I want to thank you. It's the bomb. And it's so good. If y'all don't run over and watch her whole Vlogmas, I'm watching at least 2 or 3 at a time. And then I actually backtrack because y'all, I don't know. It's just my personality. I like to do things and see things again and again. So your Vlogmas is the best. Like, I had a favorite in September, and even though I did it in September, my favorite was Michael Reeves. And then I had a favorite Vlogmas, but it was another YouTuber. I don't know, forget who it was, but they were so good, and everybody's just like so involved, and it's amazing. And it's just like Skinny Girl Fat Hair, where she went from doing a certain thing to now putting her family in it. Because even before then, it was like, I want to see another video from her, and now she does them every day, which is really cool. So I'm not saying do it every day because I know it's work, but just know this December you have changed and given people something to desire in a form of peace and family and happiness, and reading the scriptures, or just your personality is so welcoming, and it's just like turning on a friend that you get to, you haven't seen in a while, and it's like Skype, almost like this personal connection that you have. And I just really appreciate it. So I'm gonna shut up and move on because I can keep going. But anyway, hi there, Comfy Cozy up with her fly self. Now I'm talking about fashion. I was just talking about my sister being a model in her young years. But are you a model or something, Miss Comfy Cozy? Because if you guys have not watched her channel, and again, and when you're in the chat room, please check out everybody that's in the chat room. If they have a channel, subscribe to them, like their videos, subscribe to me, like my videos, but just enjoy this time here because it's not promised. But her clothes, her style, her sense of style, even where you're sitting with the brick wall and everything, it's just so fly and so stylish, and I really appreciate it. And it is definitely comfy and cozy. So KT says, thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, because you already know you're doing something, and that is connecting to people in a way that some people just don't naturally have. And so I think about continuing vlogs in some manner, but it won't be every day. Exactly. Like maybe once a week. In the same vein that you're doing now, you don't have to change nothing. If you just, only thing that you drop is the daily, and just do it once a week, or I don't know, twice a week, whatever you can give us. And I'd appreciate it. And oh, thank you, says Comfy Cozy. Girl, But you're just like I don't know, she made me want to go shop one day. I was like, oh, I'm such a drag with this stuff I be wearing. But my son one time, just a quick little story before I leave. Um, me and my son, um, oh, it was the day I cooked dinner for everybody. It was the last weekend, last Saturday. Wasn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so I got up early and I cooked for the family. I come back here and I shower and change and get into my clean clothes and drive over to my other son's house. My son DJ says, "Mom, you look like an artist." Like in a not so like that's not a good thing. And when I looked down at what I had on my tennis shoes because I wear tennis shoes every single day. So that's not nothing new. And he knows I wear tennis shoes every day. But I had on my gray slacks, okay, my Bob Marley shirt, my wrap that I got from Montego Bay, Jamaica, that I love, that I'm glad it's not torn up because one of them did. And it's black and green. You guys have seen it. I've worn it on this channel several times. But and it's got green and black in it, and it's got black and green in my shirt, and it's the Jamaican colors and the Bob Marley on there. And what else did I have on? I had on a black sweater because it was kind of chilly, and So slacks and a Bob Marley t-shirt and a black sweater and a black and green Montego Bay Jamaica head wrap. He's like, Mom, you look like an artist. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, kind of, you look kind of bummy. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I am either, you know that when you would see people on talk shows and they would always do a makeover for mothers who were always in their sweats and tennis shoes and like the soccer mom look. That's me, but I don't wear warm-ups, but I would. I mean, like right now, I just got on these black tights and this gray long shirt, and it's a t-shirt shirt, and this thing in my head, and my Prince earrings, and my fake Erica Badu hair. I'm just not a fashionista. I don't like buying clothes. I like buying books and art supplies. That's just who I am, and that's not gonna change. Okay, but you be fly. That's all I'm saying. Bye, you guys. That's all. That's all. And if you are here, please get your shelves ready. We're gonna do the dang thing in 2018. It's the blackout. It's coming in a couple weeks or less. I can't wait. Yeah, just we're gonna have fun with it. So, oh, let me title this thing, and while I'm doing that, say goodbye. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. She said, laugh out loud. Oh no. But yes, that's how I was looking. But everything was clean. And I'm just, put me in a Bob Marley t-shirt even one time I went to the store and I bought about 4 black t-shirts, all the same style. That's me. That's just who I am. But I like to beat my face a little bit. That's about it. That's it. That is it. So I'm going to go. I'm going to play Johnny. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Let me take off these glasses with the little glare. I don't know. Let me see. That's where I dress up. Because that's all I got. And I won't slurp. Son. Okay. Anyway, we're going to go. And I'll see you guys next Saturday. And hopefully make a small video or not for the week. I say not because 2 days in a row. I'm good. I hear DK. I hear you, but I'll be watching vlogs. I enjoyed you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I was going to look to see if you had a book that you were reading. I think about continuing. No, she didn't give me the book. But I appreciate you guys being here. Good night. Good night, KT. Good night, you guys. Good night, Kia Denae. Good night, Denise Rader. Good night, Dee. Good night, Cozy Up. Good night, Alicia. Good night, Sabrina. Good night, Grape. Good night. Names that I cannot pronounce. Alrighty, guys. I appreciate you. Thumbs up. Okay, bye.